I never thought I'd ever hear you utter the words. This is, talking about cheese is great content. Just never thought I'd ever hear you say that. Oh, so good. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. So I went to the co-op the other day, Ted, and 'cause I needed to buy some cheese.
Yep.
See what I'm doing here? I'm just diving straight in on cheese.
Yeah, dive straight in on the cheese.
Yeah, and the last time I bought cheese from the co-op, it was like mature cheddar, and I was like, it was really tasty. My issue with mature cheddar is it's just a bit too crumbly and a bit too flaky.
Yeah.
And I'll go into the reasons why that's a problem in a moment. So I decided to go for
Good.
mild.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, right. This is great content. Everyone's on the edge of their cheesy seats. But I thought I'll get some mild cheddar this time. Hopefully because it won't be quite so flaky and crumbly. And to my disappointment, it was still flaky and crumbly, even though it was mild cheddar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why was that? Was it a bit old or something?
I don't know. I just don't know if it was just that particular brand of cheese. Just even their mild stuff was a bit crumbly and flaky. I mean, it tasted nice. It didn't taste like mature cheddar. It did taste like mild cheddar. Just didn't behave like mild cheddar. It wasn't as reserved as whatever. Anyway, so the reason I prefer the mild cheese. So I've got this cheese slice thing. It's almost like a plane for cheese. Those planes you get for slicing wood, taking bits off of wood. It's like one of those, but for cheese. So you get this nice consistent cuts every time, the same size. Someone like me who loves cheese a lot and will happily cut a slice of cheese that's an inch thick and call that a reasonable slice. I feel like this cheese cutting device is quite useful.
Is it adjustable then?
It's not adjustable, no.
So it's always an inch thick?
No. If I'm doing it with a knife, I would just cut it an inch thick and call it good.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
And proclaim that is a reasonable amount of cheese to put on your toast, when it really isn't. Let's be honest, that's not a reasonable amount of cheese.
That's a crashing disappointment to me.
But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, when I cut the cheese with the slice, when I cut the cheese with this slicing device, it should come out same thickness all the time, every time. But when you do that with mature cheese, or certainly my local store brand of mature cheese, it just falls apart. The whole thing falls apart. The cheese, that is, not the slice.
Yeah.
And I don't get a consistent slice of cheese every time to put on my toast. And it's quite disappointing. So I thought I'll go for the mild stuff this time. But no, it did the same thing again, and I was just really, really disappointed with my life at that point, and wondered, what I should be doing with it.
I had an interesting cheese. I say interesting. It might be. I don't know. You tell me. There was some cheese in the fridge, and it was brand new cheese, so well within date. But it's right at the back of the fridge, where it can get a bit frosty. And one end was pretty much solid because it was frozen. But it was interesting because when I opened it, the other end, you know how sometimes when it's been around for a while, it can get like very sort of dark and hard in the corners. Yeah. So that kind of happened as well. I mean, it was perfectly good once it was back to sort of room temperature. But yeah, it had gone a little bit weird. It's almost as though being in the fridge is good because that keeps it, but too much fridge is too much. It's almost as though it took on the look of a cheese that's been around for too long because it's been in the fridge. Had too much fridge. Do you remember? What's his face? The bloke who thinks he's not a bloke anymore. The man, the covered in bees.
Oh, Eddie Izzard.
He did a bit about looking cool. It's like there's a dial of looking cool, looking cool, and then the more cool you look, you get to the point where looking cool, looking like a dickhead.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that. It's been like you put the cheese in the fridge, and it's like Yep, nice and cool, nice,
Too much
elongating
cool.
the life of it. Looking cool, being cool, looking like a dickhead.
Yeah. I am actually, speaking of too much fridge and, like you say, being cool, being chill, and then eventually kind of tipping over the edge. I think, so I've got a bottle of milk in my fridge right now that's been there for the last 2 weeks. Expired a week ago, but it's still good. It has not turned to cheese. It smells good, tastes good. I'm quite satisfied with its performance so far. But I suspect at some point I'm going to open the fridge, open that bottle of milk, and be hit with the worst, stale milk stench in the world. It's just going to happen overnight. It's just going to turn. There's a moment in every milk bottle's life where it just turns. And you can't stop it, and it's not even a gradual thing. It's just like one day it's perfectly fine, the next, nope, it stinks. It's just completely gone off, and it's turned to cheese.
Yeah. I've got a question I want to ask you about cheese. But before I ask you that question, let's have our first track.
Do you want to introduce it?
I will happily introduce our first track.
Go for it.
And this is from Positronic, who we've played a number of times in the past. Positronic with Beat of Love.
I wanna hear you, baby. I wanna be near you, baby. Ooh. I wanna see you, baby. Need your loving, baby. Need your touch now, baby. Ooh.
lot more tea at the moment as well. Like a lot more actual caffeinated tea, but also a lot of decaffeinated tea, like Red Bush tea in the evenings to help me kind of settle down before going to bed. And yeah. Anyway, that was Positronic with Beat of Love, right
Beat
here
of
on
Love.
your Tuesday Show podcast.
Indeed. Now to the news and weather.
Yeah. What's the weather, Ollie? Space weather. Thanks, Ollie.
So milk. I was going to ask you an important question about milk, which
Okay.
is what is your milk of choice?
As in what colour milk? I go for the blue milk, the whole milk.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Not the milk itself
I
is
was
still
thinking
white.
actually blue milk. Yeah. It often confuses me when people say, "Oh, yes, could you get some milk? Get some blue milk or green milk?" Like, say what?
My stepdad. So I was talking to my stepdad about milk over Christmas, right?
As you do. Yeah.
Because so over the last couple of years, I have not had milk in the house because I just don't use it. Because I don't drink tea often enough to warrant having a bottle of milk, and I didn't eat cereal, or porridge oats or anything like that. But since I moved into this house, I've actually had a bottle of milk in the fridge at all times, because I'm trying desperately to get into that habit of getting up, going downstairs, putting the coffee on, having a bowl of cereal, for breakfast, or a bowl. I muesli, but having a bowl of muesli for breakfast. But that obviously requires having milk in the house.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was talking to my stepdad about milk, or was it the price of milk or something, over Christmas, and he was complaining about the fact that when you go to a particular supermarket, and I don't know if this occurs everywhere because I haven't really checked, when you go to a particular supermarket in the UK, because it always used to be, it was always the colour of the lid, as well as the label would tell you what type of milk it is, whether it was skimmed, semi-skimmed, or whole milk.
Yeah.
But now he's complaining because all the lids are white, and I'm like, okay, but the labels are still blue. The label's still green. The label's still red. What does it matter? If you get really lucky, you'll find a purple one. Which is, I don't even know what purple it is. Something crazy. Somewhere I think it sits between skimmed and semi-skimmed.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 skimmed, or I don't know what they call it.
Yeah,
Maybe 1% or something. I don't know. But yeah, I was just like, the labels are still the same. It's just they've saved money by not adding dye to the colour of the plastic lids.
Yeah.
So it's now just a white lid for all of them, rather than spending money making them different colours.
Or maybe it's the fact if they're different colours, that's what stops them from being recyclable.
Maybe, actually. I never thought of that.
Something like that. We could be saving the planet by being confused about what milk you're buying.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, but then the thing is, I think the blue and the green and the whatever the other one is.
Red.
Red, okay. I think, what's red then?
Skimmed.
Oh, well, that's just water, isn't it?
That's it. Basically, it's flavoured water at that point. Yeah.
Hardly flavoured either. But I think the reason why that confuses me is because that's not the colours that they always had. Because at one point there was gold top, silver top, and whatever the other tops were.
Was that pasteurised, like non-pasteurised, or something? Like, did you ever get milk delivered when you were younger?
Yes.
And they'll come in glass bottles, and like you say, the silver top, the gold top.
Yep.
And I think they started introducing different colours as time went on. But so I remember when we used to get milk delivered when I was a young lad, when I was a kid, and we had milk delivered, and there was always an argument over opening a fresh bottle of milk because you'd get like a couple of inches of cream kind of sat on top, where the cream had separated from the rest of the milk, and what you're supposed to do is shake the bottle about a little bit to mix it all back together.
No.
But we never did that.
No.
My brothers and I and my mum and my nan, we'd always fight over who got to open the bottle of milk and get the cream to put on their cornflakes in the morning. That's what we did. Those were the days. You don't get that now. Kids nowadays just don't get it.
Yeah. But it
Gen
rises
Alpha
anyway, doesn't it? So even if it's an open bottle, it will rise. So if it's whole milk, you've just got to go you've got to go for the. Even if I'm using it on something else, I'll have to have that sip, that top sip.
It's the best bit.
Yeah,
that's where the flavour and goodness is right in that top bit.
Absolutely, it is. But I think that's the thing. That's the nub of the matter when it comes to the colours. I don't think about those colours. I think about other colours, which were probably more likely to be colours based on like foil colours.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we used to have milk delivered, and it was delivered on a horse.
Nice.
Yeah, when I say on a horse, there was a horse and pulling
And a cart. Yeah.
and a cart. It wasn't just a guy on a horse.
Can
you imagine?
A horse just delivering milk.
Yeah, yeah. No guy, just a horse.
That's it. Come on in, here's your milk. Oh, you're going to take my recyclables? Nay. Jesus.
Oh dear. Yeah, there was more to it. There was a horse and a carriage. And the carriage was milk load. Yeah, it was a nice horse. So I'm quite unused to the idea of the different colours. But my choice milk is whole milk, for obvious reasons, because that's the real milk. It's
the most flavourful out of all of them, and it's that, but it's also like, even with semi-skimmed milk, colloquially known as green top milk. I think the Americans call it 2%. Even that's a bit watery for my taste, and it's like if I'm putting milk onto my crunchy nut, I want it to be thick, flavourful milk. Yeah, I don't want watery nonsense making my cornflakes soggy. It's just not what I do. But yeah, I always buy whole milk. I don't buy anything else. Although now here's a revelation for you, and I'm not saying this was a New Year's resolution because we're way past that now. But I am looking at the possibility of going dairy free, and getting some kind of like almond milk or something, and giving that a whirl. See how I get on with that.
Okay.
Just to because I am now drinking a lot more milk because I'm now eating cereal in the mornings. I feel like it's making me feel a bit bloated, and with the amount of cheese that I eat as well, I love cheese. I feel like it's bloating me out a little bit, and this is really boring. I get it. Sorry, everybody. But no, I've heard that if you actually just kind of cut out the dairy part of dairy products, like you've cut out lactose, because lactose is a sugar as well, and being diabetic, I have to think about all the types of sugars that I'm eating. So if I go dairy free or lactose free, maybe my health might improve slightly as well. Obviously, it's all about diet and exercise, and while I'm trying the diet part, exercise will come eventually, maybe. Getting out of bed in the morning is enough exercise for me. But that's where I'm going.
What more do you want?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm trying dairy free. I'm going to go dairy free, see if that makes a difference to my general health and feeling during the day. Like I say, 'cause I'm drinking tea in the afternoons now as well, like caffeinated tea. Because I drink 3 cups of coffee a day, and that's because that's what I get out of my coffee pot. But that's usually gone by lunchtime. So then when it gets to 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can feel myself flagging. So I think, I'll go make a nice cup of tea. But I need milk for that. But again, it's more dairy, more sugars. That's I'm taking in. So I'm like, well, I might try it with some dairy free milk.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Although the problem is, if you go dairy free, that means you're going to have to cut out cheese as well.
Well, you get like lactose free and non-dairy cheeses. They are more expensive. I'll never deny that. And yes, it'll mean I'll have to limit how much I'm eating because of that's purely cost-related reasons. But it's like you can
as well.
Well, like Cathedral City. So you can buy Cathedral City lactose-free cheese.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than regular Cathedral City, but it tastes just the same.
Okay.
Now that I'm not going to say is non-dairy, it's just lactose-free. It's clearly still a dairy product, but I'm sure you can get like non-dairy cheese. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I think
for the
thing
vegans,
is though, if you go non-dairy cheese, I mean cheese is dairy, so if you go non-dairy cheese, you haven't got cheese there. I think when things are something fake, I think I'd rather have an alternative, not try and sort of pretend that I'm having the thing in the first place. Oat milk. A lot of people have oat milk. The thing to be aware of, though, if you go down the oat milk route, is it separates.
Yes.
So in the fridge, it's separate. So that looks terrible. It looks like some sort of milk that's gone right off.
Yeah, it looks like it's been there for a year.
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly appetizing.
Yeah.
In fact, the idea of it doesn't seem very appetizing.
No.
In fact, what happens if you have? What if you had that with porridge? So you've got oats, and then you add oat milk to oats.
It's just too much oats.
Yeah.
All oats, no hull.
Did the oats of the
"Ah,
porridge say, welcome back?
And there was much rejoicing. No, too much oats, not enough hull.
Yeah.
But no, I never really thought about it that way. But I've never really looked at oat milk either. I know, like I say, almond milk is quite popular, but also very expensive. But again, I'm also thinking, how do you get milk out of a nut? Not the nut that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Because that kind of nut milk is readily available. But no, like almond milk. How do you get milk out of an almond? What's the process, and how many almonds do you need to make 1 litre or 1 pint of almond milk?
Well, this is the worrying thing when it comes to these alternatives, as to how, the kind of intensive farming of these alternatives, because we've not done it like that for forever. We've not done it like that. So when you start having a new demand for many millions of nuts, these have all got to be cultivated. And from an environmental point of view, what does that do where you're growing it? What does that do? And also, where's it being grown? And how much transportation is involved?
Yeah. Wasn't that a big thing a couple of years ago? And I want to say soya beans for making soya milk and corn and all these vegan-friendly foods. Yeah. And there was a big thing about, again, it's like around the sustainability of the farming and making or growing all of these soybeans, transporting them around the world, just to meet the demand of the new, and I'm going to say it, the fad of being vegan at the time. Yeah. I'm not denying veganism and saying that it's not a good thing, and I'm absolutely not going down that road or opening that can of worms. But it did turn into a big thing at one point where everyone at some point in their life wanted to try being a vegan. Yeah. And say, I'm going to go meat free and I'm going to do all this. I'm just going to be a vegan. I'm going to eat lettuce for the rest of my life. And then suddenly, the market booms with all these nice vegan alternative foods. Most of it based around soy proteins or soy milk or all this. And it's like, but what's the cost of all of that? Because maybe soy is the wrong one, but there was something. But it was like you could only grow this particular crop for vegan foods in a certain part of the world. Yeah. So you'd literally have to transport it across the globe to meet the demand, and it wasn't like you could have local farms making, growing these foods. And it was a big thing. I just can't remember exactly what it was, but it was.
It's a similar thing with avocados, because they're very popular.
Maybe it was avocados,
and obviously vegan as well. But then avocados, there's a great deal of cost involved in that in terms of transporting the avocados, transporting a hell of a lot of avocados for everybody who wants the avocado on toast. Yeah. But with the oat milk, not necessarily oats, I suppose. I don't know. It depends on how many oats do you need to make to milk an oat? I don't know.
How many oats does it take to screw in a light bulb, Ted?
Yeah, but your soya, your oats, your certainly avocados, and all those sorts of things. How are they farmed in the first place? How are they transported? How much do you need? And the reality is, who's it for? And if it's just, okay, we're doing all of this and we're transporting all of this stuff and we're potentially damaging the environment because of it, it's so that people can spend more money at the supermarket for an alternative, which is effectively just some kind of luxury belief. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But that was always kind of my argument with vegan. It's like, if you want to be a vegan, cool, go for it. That's your choice, absolutely. But if you're doing it just because it's popular and you can afford to do it, and afford to do it, in inverted commas, properly, no, that's the wrong reason to be doing it. And actually, all you're doing is harming the planet by doing it. Yeah. But then again, those arguments kind of come and go quite quickly. I'm pretty sure the same argument was had over bananas at one point, because let's face it, you can't grow bananas in the UK.
No.
They get imported from other countries, so you've still got transport costs, environmental impacts, just so I can have a banana with my yogurt in the mornings, or at lunchtime.
But if everybody decided that the thing to do was, instead of eating, I don't know, like, okay, we're not going to eat bacon anymore. Instead, we're going to have something like a pressed version of pressed. What was the thing? Banana. Like if you press a banana and do it in such a way, it'll taste a bit like bacon. If that happened, then there would be a massive uptick in bananas being required in the Western world, and then we'd be shipping even more bananas from all over.
I'm just going to say, if that ever happened, these idiots that sit in the middle of a motorway because for whatever reason, that would be me. I'd be like, no fake banana bacon. I want real bacon. Take your banana bacon, shove it where the sun don't shine, and give me pig. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Fucking banana bacon.
Oh, fair enough.
I know that's for instance,
but then again, a lot of vegans don't like people. Like, there are vegans, and then there are vegans. So there are vegans, like you've got the original vegans, and then you've got what you might class as the new vegans. The new vegans are the ones that eat vegan because it's trendy, but the original vegans, they despise those people because they're not doing it for the right reasons.
I mean, who's to say what the right or wrong reason is?
They are, because they're the arbiters of everything that is good and proper, because they're vegans.
Yeah, right.
They are the true. They are true. Well, I would have said, the chosen people. Chosen by who? They're probably godless, aren't they? The vegans. But
the godless vegans strike
godless
again.
Vegans. Well, you can't believe in a god if you see yourself as one. So I'm sure vegans and religion don't really go together. So they have a big problem against a lot of people eating vegan, and therefore pretending to be vegan, but they're not vegans for the right reasons. They're not vegan enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I know many people have many different reasons for being vegan, and say a colleague I used to work with, a colleague that I worked with, she was a vegan. Hers was, for animal cruelty reasons. She didn't like the idea of, or didn't like kind of how animals have been treated, when they're literally bred for food. Yeah. Rather than, I guess, what would have happened, a million years ago, where we, kill animals with a spear. Yeah. Or whatever it was back then, with a, I don't know, smell my feet type scenario. But it's, and I kind of get that. And I'm like, because, I, care about animals and how they're treated, and it's like, because we as human beings are animals too, and I would hate to be treated the way some animals are treated for food. But at the same time, I really do like bacon.
Well, it's right. What you said then was, you're talking about vegans wanting the things to be better for better for animals. Had a bit of a brain fade there. What was I talking about?
So, you having a stroke?
Yeah. Yes, but it's under the desk, so it doesn't count.
Oh, geez.
I'm going to cut all that out.
No, you're not.
No. So what you said though is that they don't. They're vegan because they don't want any sort of cruelty to animals, but animals in general. But the animals also include insects and small animals and things that live in hedgerows and whatnot, and in the land, which for in a lot of cases where you've got these sort of new crops that are being intensively farmed, so that we can have our oat milk and our almond milk and and whatever that other thing was, soy stuff.
Soy milk, yeah.
Yeah. And, it could be killing millions upon millions upon millions of insects, also animals, also creatures.
Exactly, yeah.
So who's to know who's to know what to do for the best when it comes to that? I find the topic fascinating.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, which makes me think perhaps it's time for our next track. Do you want to introduce the next track?
Tenuous segues. Such tenuous segues. All right. The next track then comes from Lifelong Corporation, and this is adequately called Fascinating, and this is the Dimensions remix of Fascinating. Fascinating.
I can't believe this is not my world, it's not my life. I'm traveling in time. I'm traveling in time. Looking for a people I can meet. Walking to the rhythm of the speed. But everything is fast. But everything is fast. Fascinating world, it's in my hands. I can let it go, I still be here. I have to keep walking at the space. I'm falling in love here. I'm falling in love here. Fascinating world, it's in my hands. I can let it go, I still be here.
And that was Fascinating, brackets, Dimension Mix, close brackets, from Lifelong Corporation.
Was it Dimension Mix or Dimension Remix? Because I said Dimension Remix and you just said Dimension Mix.
I just said Dimension Mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll fact check that and we'll put the correct title in the description.
Yeah, it is Mix. It is just Mix.
Okay,
I think it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a mix because it's a remix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, fascinating.
Fascinating.
And I do find the whole vegan and vegan thing fascinating, and also all the other things that we're probably likely to be sold as ideas of what to eat and how to eat it.
There are many things that I find fascinating in the world. Veganism is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as we briefly discussed, you know, some of the reasons why people become vegans, and I'm very fascinated by the human mind and how people, you know, not only process information, but you know how the creative side allows them to think a certain way. And but spiders fascinate me as well.
Yeah,
I'm also fascinated by spiders. I don't hate them. I don't like them in my house. You know, they're welcome to stay if they're willing to contribute to the rent. But seeing as they don't, I tend to throw them out. But they fascinate me. It's like, you know, these 8-legged creatures who, you know, some of them are terrifyingly fast.
Yeah.
Others are terrifyingly huge.
Yeah.
Some are both. But they fascinate me. Just their entire kind of life purpose, I find fascinating. They'll find a corner, a suitable corner that they just fancy. Sometimes it's dark, sometimes it's light, sometimes it's damp, sometimes it's dry. And they do not like green eggs and ham or whatever. But it's just this. You're just like, okay, so there's a spider there. This one's outside. There's a spider outside. And it's on my window, for example, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I kind of get that because that's where the flies are. The flies are generally outside. But now there's a spider in my house, in the corner of the kitchen, just hanging out. And it's like, but there are no flies in here, as far as I'm aware. But is it because the spider's there is the reason there's no flies in my kitchen? If the spider wasn't there, would I have flies? But I've thrown spiders out from the corner of the kitchen before, and there's still no flies. So I'm just fascinated by it. It's just like, what? I'd love to be in the mind of a spider for a day, just to understand what it's thinking and, the decision-making process that, of this 8-legged, 8-eyed thing. Does it have 4 brains to cope with the excess number of legs and eyes? I don't know.
It's a lot of legs to deal with, though, isn't it?
It really is.
We only have 2. Well, we've got 2 arms as well, but we've got 2 legs. So we've only got 4 limbs to worry about and to think about. And that seems to be enough half the time. But then having 8, that's twice as many. I mean,
the claw-eye coordination there is incredible. It's
what I found interesting. Well, first of all, in answer to your question, what's their purpose? Well, their purpose is the same as many other animals, including us, in fact, which is purely reproduction and survival. We've kind of added to that because we want to do other things along the way. Maybe spiders do as well. But the ones in your kitchen or outside or whatever they're doing, they must be there because it's going to deal with one of their basic needs, which is to be fed. So because there aren't any flies there, it probably means it's catching them because it wouldn't sit there and just starve. So there must be something. It must be getting something.
That's it. It's I've seen spiders that hang out, inside a house, and they'll seem to stay in the same place for a number of months, well, a number of weeks maybe, but a number of months in some cases, and then like one day it's just disappeared.
Yeah.
And then it might reappear a week later, and it's like, so has it just like been outside to go hunting? And now it's come back, and it's basically come home, and it's just again hanging out, and it's in the spider version of the living room. But yeah, I just find them fascinating, and then some of the habits I find quite. So here's an interesting fact for what I think is an interesting fact: the cellar spider, or sometimes known as a daddy longlegs. They're usually half a centimeter long, quite thin bodies, but very long, thin legs. Generally found in cellars and basements, hence the name cellar spider. But they like dark corners, dark places to hang out. But did you know when they spin their webs, they will always sit in, or be in that web, hanging upside down every time. Yep.
Okay.
I don't know why I decided to try and look that up, but I remember looking at it once because I was looking at a cellar spider in my living room at the time and going, why is it upside down? And I'd like Google cellar spider upside down, and it said, they hang upside down in their webs every time.
Yeah.
And I think it's to do with, I think if I remember correct, it was to do with the way they ward off predators. So you'll see, so if you touch a cellar spider's web, it will start like gyrating to shake the web really quite violently, and it's to scare off predators and things like that.
Okay.
They said apparently when they do it when it's upside down, it's like more of an aggressive movement, or easier to make the aggressive movement that way, rather than doing it from on top of the web. So I was like, again, fascinating. I was so fascinated by it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I find fascinating. Well, first of all, like you said, some of them are really fast. So they really know what to do with those legs, don't they? I think if I had 8 legs, I'd probably be quicker. Okay. Or either that or I'd fall over faster. But that's interesting. But it does rather beg the question, why always 8? What is it about the spider that always has 8 legs? Because we don't have any. I suppose this is an evolution question as well, because we don't have, because we've got plenty of animals that have got 4 legs.
Yep.
Loads of those. We've got us with 2 legs, which is kind of like an extension, like an evolutionary extension from having 4 legs. We've just turned 2 of them into arms, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's how it would appear. And then we're just like an upright monkey. But
Yeah,
then
we
monkeys
are,
have arms, I suppose. Don't they? Well, anyway, why has the spider got 8 legs? Why aren't there any spiders or something similar that we probably wouldn't call spiders with 6 legs? Why not 5? Does it always have to be symmetrical?
So there are...
Oh, the centipedes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, and millipedes.
Well, that's it. It's obviously all clearly evolutionary. Yeah, evolutionary, as you said. It's genetic. The way my mind is working on this one, having done zero research,
This should be fun.
is I'm thinking of like desert spiders or desert arachnids, I should say. So we're talking the camel spider, which is not actually a spider. We're talking
or
scorpions, and it's not a camel either. Yeah.
Okay.
Scorpions as well, and you think of kind of the environments that they thrive in, which is generally dry, sandy sandy environments. I imagine that 8 legs allow them to be more mobile in a movable terrain or terrain that is more fluid than solid ground.
It's like having 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive for animals.
Yeah. And then when that's not acceptable, then you have like 6-wheel drive because you can get 6-wheelers, can't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. They've got more traction, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it the camel spider that actually only has 6 legs? It's not actually a spider.
I don't know.
I
know it's not a camel.
Absolutely, yeah. There is something that looks like a spider that isn't a spider that has only 6 legs. I saw a 7-legged spider once, but that was after I caught it with a glass and accidentally caught the leg under the rim of the glass. And
yes, that didn't naturally evolve. These also the other thing with spiders, or certainly some spiders, because they've got the 8 legs, because they can sort of fan them out a bit, it means that they can be very, very light on their feet and can walk on water.
Yeah.
You do get a lot of spiders that go around on water.
I think that might be part of it as well. Maybe not so much the water evolution side of it, but again, going back to the sand side of it, is having 8 legs, the distribution of weight is a lot less per leg, so they don't sink into the sand or sink into mud, or they can hang out in grass and on leaves without causing too much disturbance. So again, maybe it's a predatory thing because they can be very light on their feet. They don't actually cause disturbances on the ground, therefore alerting their prey that they're coming for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the spiders are so cool. Like trapdoor spiders are so cool. They literally they make a hole in the ground and then they make a lid for that hole and they sit in the hole and put the lid over the top of themselves. And then when a predator comes by, they jump. Also, a prey comes by, they literally jump out and grab it. And you're like, that's so freaking cool, man. So cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never seen a spider run on water. I feel like I want to try. I want to see that.
You want to try it? Don't try it.
I don't want to try
sink.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll need another 6 legs before you can try that one.
I think I need another 15 legs for me. I'm so freaking heavy.
Yeah, 15 legs and a bit of
Helium.
Bit of helium, yeah.
Hydrogen.
Bit of laughing gas as well. That's true.
Yeah.
Dear.
Like bats. Bats fascinate me as well.
Yes.
We won't
they
talk too
they
much.
hang upside down as well.
They hang upside down as well. But but all the, the whole echolocation, the basics of sonar.
Yeah.
By bats. I'm pretty sure bats fly around singing Sweet Caroline, waiting for their prey just to go ba ba ba.
Yeah.
And then they're over there, and the bat will fly after them.
Yeah. Because they don't see very well, but they can certainly find their way just through sonar. They're not perfect though. I had a bat fly straight into my face once. It was like being hit, because it was like being hit with a
bat in the face.
Well, no, it felt a bit like a wet fish slapping you in the face.
Now I'm picturing. Okay, right. I'm sorry. First of all, I imagine you just casually walking down the street and this bat just come and whack you in the face with that comedy slap sound that happens.
Yeah, well,
in
to be fair,
cartoons.
it was in a bat enclosure.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I went to the bat. The bat didn't come and seek me out or anything like this. But it didn't, when it was running back and forth, what it should do is avoid anything that's in the way.
Yes.
But it didn't.
General.
It just went, just slapped me in the face.
Yeah, wow.
Which is unusual. That's not the sort of thing that happens every day. Having a bat in the face.
No. But then
yeah.
you mentioned the fish, and I had this. I then pictured the meme of the news reporter in a storm, and then just gets whacked by a fish.
Yeah.
That's literally what I pictured at that point.
Yeah. No. That's good.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the Monty Python sketch where they're hitting each other with a fish. Or actually, talking about your newsreader example.
Yeah.
What about the chap? Have you ever seen the thing where the guy's getting interviewed, and then I think it was a Greg's bag just hits him in the face? Yeah, that's a classic. Look out for that. If you like a good meme, then search for man with Greg's bag hitting him in the face.
Man, Greg's bag in the face.
Yeah. Classic.
Classic.
Talking of classic, should we have another classic track from Positronic?
Yes, we shall. Sorry, I thought you were going to go through and finish the intro.
You were thinking about memes, weren't you? You got lost in meme culture.
Memeville, yep.
From Positronic, this one's called Find Our Way.
Sometimes we feel like a tiny boat tossed around by waves trying to stay afloat. Sometimes we feel like a
Positronic, find our
Yes.
way on the Tuesday show, FM, Radio X.
Find our way, which is not what happened with the bat that hit me in the face.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. I'm still just picturing a bat just whacking you in the face, just with that real comedy whoosh kind of noise.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was the noise. But it was a very startling experience. Yeah. Have you ever been attacked by an animal?
No, not outside the ordinary. Like, I've been stung by a wasp.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. No, I've never been attacked by an animal. I feel like I'm kind of like Crocodile Dundee like that. I feel like animals and I have a connection.
An affinity. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I was sat in Cafe Nero once with an ex-girlfriend.
I thought you were going to say with an animal.
I mean,
maybe.
but she had a wasp caught in her hair, and she was panicking, and I was like, just freaking stay still. And I literally got my hand, wrapped my fingers around and just gently pulled it out and let it go.
Yeah.
It was like, why didn't it sting you? I was like, I don't know. Maybe it sensed that I was just trying to help.
It sensed that you were in charge.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes. If only my first name was Charles. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. No, you never watched Charles in Charge?
No.
No, okay.
What was that?
It's a TV show.
Well, yes, I guessed from did I watch it?
No, I never watched it, but I've seen memes about Charles in yours. I've seen clips on Family Guy where they've mentioned Charles in Charge, and then Peter Griffin has sung the theme song to Charles in Charge, and that's how I now know it.
Oh, I see. All right.
I'm one of those when it comes to that kind of pop culture.
Yeah.
If I've seen it on Family Guy, or if it's been on Family Guy, I understand what you're talking about. If it hasn't, probably not.
Okay.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah, what was that? Wasp House. So you wrangled a wasp.
Yeah, wrangled a wasp.
But not had any serious run-ins with animals.
No.
I think I'd been butted by a goat. Or was it a pig? I can't remember what it was. I was very young. Okay. But that's about it, really. I've not really suffered. Having cats, I've had the odd scratch here and the odd bite there, but that
it's
just
expected.
comes with the territory, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's expected for a cat allowing you to live with it.
Yeah.
Occasionally, it's going to get fed up with you and want you to leave, so it will scratch you.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, listeners, if you've ever had any interesting attacks from a beast, let us know. Get in the comments. DM us.
Non-human beast, please.
Non-human beast, in fact. Yes. Let us know. Get in touch, and we will tell your story on this, which is the Tuesday show. Get in touch if you've got any music you want to share with us, or anything like that. You can contact us at
the Tuesday Show podcast at gmail.com.
Yes, that's it. The Tuesday Show podcast at gmail.com. You can DM me at Ted James Media on most of the socials, and CJ Brooks FM if you want to contact CJ.
Don't, because I won't answer you.
He won't respond, but you can contact him all the same.
Sorry, I'm going to completely, absolutely sandbag you at this point and derail everything. I was talking to somebody on WhatsApp earlier on. I was on a video call, and I got this random message saying a phone number is trying to add me to a group chat.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I went and had a look, and I was like, I don't know didn't know who this person was, didn't recognise them from the photo, and they'd also just named themselves Dude. Like, there's no name. Like, it's not John or Bill or any other name you want. Just called themselves Dude. And I'm just like, nah, block. You're gone. See ya. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do try to DM me or try to add me as a friend or anything on social media, you're just going to get blocked. Just going to say it. I don't accept requests from people I don't know.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by the Tuesday Show podcast.
Okay, that's incredibly welcoming of you. So, but if it's anything to do with the show, do please DM me, where you might actually get a response, and we will look forward to seeing you on the next show. Until then,
bye.
Goodbye. Dun, 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 quack, quack.
Never been attacked by a duck. I feel like that would just be really comedy gold. And
Yes.
if ever anyone feels like they're going to be attacked by a duck, just video it.
Yeah.
You know, I hate this whole culture of there's a terrible thing happening. I'm going to get my phone out and record it. But if you're being attacked by a duck, please record it and send it to us.
I want to see that. What is it about? It's about swans, isn't it? They say the swan can break your arm.
Yes, the beat of the wing of a swan can break your arm. Apparently.
Yeah,
It's
I
that
didn't
powerful.
believe that nonsense.